This edition of Mac Voices is brought to you by Take Control Books, the answers you need now from leading experts. Learn more and download yours at takecontrolbooks.com. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the Talk to the Mac community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we are right around the corner from WWDC in San Francisco, Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. But we're here to talk about an alternative event that you heard about before a few weeks ago. We have back with us the organizers of the event and one of the sponsors. So I'm happy to welcome back Judy Chen, Rob Elkin, and this time John Wilker, one of the sponsors. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Chuck.
Thank you.
So my impression from some of the emails we've exchanged and just the buzz I've seen is that AltWWDC has gotten a lot of attention in the last few weeks. And I wanted to ask you all to come back on one more time before the event, kind of give us an update as to what all's happening and what's going on and where it stands. Judy, how about if I ask you to start and then you can tell us where to go after that?
Sure. So we have added a bunch of speakers, namely Aaron Hillegas and Brad Smith from Radium One, Michael Scandizzo, who used to work at Blizzard, and just, a bunch of new speakers who we've added to the website, which you can see the schedule on at AltWWDC.com. And we have had an outpouring of support from the community, and we are a little bit nervous about how many people are going to show up at the door, but we're going to try to fit in as many people as possible. And it's first come, first serve, so we're basically advising people to come as early in the morning as possible, around 8:30 or 9, and then we'll open the doors and let people in. And Rob can tell you about the labs that we have planned too.
Great. Rob, we'll let you do the lab thing.
So it's something that we're going to be announcing today, actually. We're going to be putting on lab sessions every day in the morning and the afternoon. And so what that's going to be is we're going to have a bunch of people volunteer to come along and to basically help people out. So they can answer questions, you can come along with your code, design, stuff like that, and just have a sounding board to get some questions answered. So those are general lab sessions that we're doing, but then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, we're also doing specific lab sessions for different frameworks and technologies. And so we've had some kind of experts in those fields give us some help with that. On Monday, we're going to be doing Core Data and Magical Record as a lab. And Saul Mora, who is the creator of Core Data, is the creator of Magical Record. He's going to be there. Kirby Turner is going to be there to help out with that. On Tuesday, then, we've got web services and APIs and things like that. So we've got Matt Thompson, who wrote AF Networking, as well as Kirby again, and Isaiah Carew, who wrote the Kiwi app.NET client that some people might be familiar with. Wednesday, I'm really excited that we're going to have Hockey App are going to do a lab session in the afternoon. And so we're going to have a few of the guys from there come along. They're going to be able to talk to people about crashes, how to debug them, go through, problems that people are having. And they're bringing a chap called Landon Fuller, who is the creator of PL Crash Reporter, which is a big open source crash reporting project. And so that should be a pretty exciting lab as well. So there's kind of a space for people to come along and work, but also to chat over problems that they have and, try and get solutions and all this kind of stuff. So the volunteers are there to kind of help people, but I also imagine that the people that are there, we can just turn around to the deskmate or whatever and ask questions. We kind of have a nice community vibe going on there as well.
Rob, thank you for that last part, because I guess that's what I was trying to envision here. Is this going to be like a conference room where someone gets up and says, this is my problem or this is my question, and then everybody answers that and someone else gets up? Or is it going to be more of like I don't know, a cafeteria set up where there are multiple tables and people are just sort of milling around and visiting each other?
Yeah, it's a good question. Something someone asked me yesterday, actually, as well. What it's going to be is just it's the second version of what you said there. It's people can just kind of sit around. They can do some work. They can talk. It's a very laid back kind of atmosphere. Is what I'm anticipating it being. Just talk about the problems that you have, get some help with them. I don't really want somebody standing up at the front and talking about something specifically, because we have the speakers for that. So it kind of covers both bases, depending on what you feel like doing that day. You want to listen to a speaker, you want to do some work.
And the speaker section, Judy mentioned all the speakers that you have, which is a pretty impressive list of people. It was impressive when we first talked to you. It's getting more so as time goes on. Is this in a separate area so that it's not interfering with the labs or trying to overshadow the labs?
Yeah, exactly. We have the 2 rooms the whole entire week. So one for the presenters and one for the labs. And they're not meant to compete. They're just meant to complement each other.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking more, I guess, just noise level more than actual, where do you want to be?
Right.
Because we all know that.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. So it's something that I wanted to point out. We didn't have the labs before, but because we now have them, Monday morning we're not going to have any labs, but we're going to have more space for the keynote breakfast. So we're going to have 2 rooms where people can come and watch the keynote. We're going to have more space for that. I just wanted to put that in there.
So other than the labs, other than the speaking area or speakers that we've talked about, any other particular things that are happening or that you're doing, any parties or special events or anything like that?
No parties, unfortunately. Other people can deal with that for us, but we are particularly excited. We're going to have a little closed-off space, not so much closed off, but just a dedicated space for people who want to come along and do podcasts or any kind of interviews, things like that. So if you've got a podcast and you want a place to base yourself, you can come along. We'll have some space and you can do your podcast from AltWWD. And I believe you're going to come along, Chuck, and use it and be our first user, perhaps.
That's the game plan. I was going to say, who has a podcast? No, I'm very excited and very appreciative of the opportunity to come and talk to some of the people. Some of the developers have already been guests on MacVoices at one time or another, at least once, often several times, and so hopefully I can meet some new friends and give a little more exposure to some of these folks. But yeah, very, very cool thing. Do you know anyone else who's talked to you about doing this? Something from AltWWDC?
Yeah, Dave from the Mac Observer is going to come along. He's going to use it. Victor from TUA is going to be using it as well as Saul Mora from NS Brief. So those are the guys that have got in touch with me so far about it, but I haven't been actively promoting it a massive amount. But it's just whenever I'm having conversations with people, I'm telling them they can come along and do their podcasts from Alt.
I've got this vision sooner or later that we're all going to end up interviewing each other. We'll try not to do that. We'll try not to do that.
Very meta. Yeah.
So, John, you're the newcomer to this little party that we've thrown now twice. What's your involvement with AltWWDC?
I am a supporter of it. When Judy asked me last year they said they were going to do it and was looking for sponsors and stuff, I jumped at it, and this year I did the same. I organized the 360 iDev conference, and so it was just another way to hang around with the community and support a community effort that I really like, and it's a cool place to get work done during the week. So
that's something we hear so much about the developer community and this community, and we're talking about Mac and iOS developers, of course, given that this is MacVoices, but it does seem to be kind of a tight-knit area all its own. Certainly the Mac fans and Mac users out there that we typically target in our audience, but we're talking to more and more developers, and I get this very specific sense of commitment to each other not there's so much sharing that goes on in this community. It's kind of intriguing, given that at least at some level, some of a lot of the people compete with each other.
Yeah, I definitely think it's neat. I think everybody sees that, we all kind of succeed if everyone succeeds, we all succeed kind of thing. Like, yeah, no one's out to eliminate anyone else. And even though everyone competes to some degree, like you say, with, trying to be higher in the app store or compete for consulting work and stuff, everybody still wants to make sure that the next guy has work and has a chance as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably because a lot of the community members are indie devs, and so you don't really have the support that you would get from a big company with colleagues and coworkers and whatnot. And so I think that's why a lot of the community pulls together is to support each other and help each other out any way they can.
Yeah, totally.
I've even seen that on Twitter, where somebody will post a question. I follow a number of developers, and somebody else will answer it. And it's like, that's what you expect to see almost at the end user level, a little more, or from certain people in the community. But to see the developers helping each other that way it's refreshing, and it kind of is one more aspect of the whole Apple ecosystem that is just fun, that I'm not sure you see in some of the other ecosystems.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean that's a perfect way to put it. Just the amount of people that have helped us to put this together, all the way from sponsors, volunteers, speakers, people that are going to help in labs. It's just amazing the amount of help that the community has given us, and we couldn't put it on without them.
Well, that's good, because we've had a couple email exchanges, and it did sound like all of a sudden that everybody found out about this and said, "Oh, this is great! I want to participate at one level or another." So I like Judy's comments early that we're not quite sure how this is going to work out.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and then whatever kinks show up, we'll iron them out for next year.
As someone who was there last year, it went incredibly well, I thought. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we're mostly worried. There's just a huge amount of people interested in coming along, so we don't want to turn anybody away. But you got to turn up early if you want to guarantee get in. It's going to be an interesting one, but as long as people are happy to roll with the punches on it, then we'll see how it goes. It's kind of new ground for us having this many people.
Without asking anything I shouldn't, do you have any idea of what kind of response you've had numbers wise, or is that not something you're afraid to say out loud?
Yeah, I'm a little worried to say it out loud.
Okay. Afraid it may come true, Judy? Is that
it? Millions. No.
All the people.
All the people, all of them.
Yes. Yeah. My people.
We have a number, but the problem with events like this is that it's free, so people can optionally turn up or not. They're under no obligation to. So we have a number, and maybe 50% of them will turn up, maybe 20% of them will turn up. We just don't know. So yeah, that's the unknown.
Well, it's great, and we talked about this before, but I'm going to ask you to go back over it. The location you found for this is so close to Moscone that even developers who are actually attending the actual WWDC can kind of bounce back and forth, assuming they can get in the door, without having to take a taxi or BART or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And Judy, where is it, the specific location?
Yeah, it's at the San Francisco State University campus downtown, which is off of Market Street. It's right by the Westfield shopping center. So it's right on Market, close to 4th Street. So it's literally around the corner from Moscone.
Yeah, that's perfect. And if you can't get in the door, go to the Westfield and go shopping for a little while.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Until someone leaves, and then you can try again.
Yeah. Somehow I can't see this group shopping a whole lot in the Westfield.
The Apple Store is close, though, right?
Yeah,
it is. It's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Apple Store.
We got Yes, it's literally across the road from where we are. So we got the final shots, actually, final photos of the rooms that we're going to be in just this week, and it looks pretty amazing. So Looks even better than we thought it was going to be. So really looking forward to the space as well.
And you'll be there the entire week from Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Exactly.
You plan to get any sleep at all?
No. Sleep is for after, the week after.
Yeah. I've still got to work that week and all the parties as well. So, I mean, that's like the 8-hour chunks of my day gone already. So,
yeah. Well, the working part, I feel bad. The parties, just tough.
Yeah. I'll survive, I think. I'll survive.
And John, you're going to be there as well the whole week?
I will. Yep. I'll be camped out there working on 360 iDev stuff and we do a USB scavenger hunt during that week. And so hiding thumb drives around AltWWDC and around the outside of Moscone probably.
I can't let that go.
Yeah, this is awesome.
What do you mean you're hiding thumb drives around? This has visions of a bad Mission Impossible or something.
So we started this a few years ago, and we basically get 6 thumb drives. I thought I was in my office, I'd hold them up. I got the little Star Wars and DC Comics character ones, those little Memo drives, so the little tops of their heads come off. And we just ask the community for anything they want to put on it, whether it's promo codes for apps and games, or PDFs and flyers, or ebooks that they're selling, pretty much whatever. And then there's also a free ticket to 360 iDev, and then the night of meet that precedes it. And then I just kind of hide them around San Francisco, around Moscone Center. I don't hide them inside very often because I don't buy a ticket, so I have to usually find an agent that'll go in for me and hide them. But then we take a picture of the location from a distance so that you can kind of get the general idea, and then just tweet clues about where the drive is located, and everybody runs around trying to find it, and they tweet when they find it and take a picture with it. So it's a good time.
Yeah, I remember last year somebody found one in like a napkin dispenser at a cafe somewhere.
Awesome. We try and get pretty creative, because the first year we did it, we hid one just on a post outside of Moscone, and it was the only one that out of all these that we've done that was never found. So we're pretty sure either just a regular San Francisco person found it, or a hobo or somebody, and was like, "Oh, thumb drive, let me walk off with this." So now we get a little bit more. You have to look a little harder for them.
This edition of Mac Voices is brought to you by Take Control Books. The great ebooks just keep coming from Take Control, helping you get the most out of programs, procedures, workflows, and more. 2 of the most recent titles are Take Control of PDFpen 6 and Take Control of Dropbox. In Take Control of PDFpen 6, Michael E. Cohen shows you how to use what I consider to be an essential program to do things like add comments or proofreading marks to a PDF, fill out and sign a PDF-based form or create your own, OCR the text of any PDF sent to you, and much more. Covering the newest PDFpen 6 features, such as exporting to Microsoft Word, an enhanced toolbar, and others, Take Control of PDFpen 6 is a simple, effective way to get the most out of the premier PDF utility. The always informative Joe Kissel shows you just how powerful everyone's favorite cloud service is in Take Control of Dropbox. Sure, Dropbox syncs files, we all know that, but that's just the start. Joe discusses how to recover an accidentally deleted file, working with your photos and videos in your Dropbox, using your iOS devices with Dropbox, and much more. If you think you know Dropbox, just wait until you see what Joe has to teach you. And these are just 2 of the constantly growing collection of outstanding ebooks on topics you want to know about, delivering information you can really use. Take Control Books, the answers you need now from leading experts. Learn more at TakeControlBooks.com, and thanks to Take Control Books for sponsoring Mac Voices. Yeah, but I want to go back to that comment of if you're hiring an agent. Mission Impossible. I can hear the theme in the background right now.
Yeah, I usually try and find one person that'll take one inside dub for me, and I'll never give out their name because I'm sure they get in trouble with somebody caught them or something. But yeah, they go in and hide one, take a picture, send it to me, and then I tweet its location.
Cool idea. So tell me about the event you were talking about, and forgive me because I am not familiar with it, the one that you're running and that people can get into.
So it's 360 iDev. It's an indie iOS developer conference. We hold it here in Denver in September. This year it's the second week of September. We have the schedule announced and everything that's up on the site, and it's 360iDev.com. We started doing that in 2009, I think it was.
There are quickly developing a large number of these developer conferences. I mean, it makes so much sense for AltWWDC to be running in conjunction with WWDC, given the demand that there seems to be around Apple's official conference and the fact that so many people can't get in. But the MacTech people do their great conferences. Here's one in Denver. Scotty does. I can't
NS conference.
NS conference, yeah. There's so many of these out there. It's really intriguing to me that the developer community is exploding so much. What is it? Is it because of the popularity of iOS and the Mac OS? And are there this many, and I'll show my ignorance, are there this many for other platforms?
I definitely think it's iOS. I don't know of there being any other platform that has this many. I know that Android has a smattering of them. I don't know if Windows Phone has gotten any besides Microsoft's big event yet. But yeah, definitely iOS. There's lots of conferences: CocoConf, SecondConf, Singleton, the ones we mentioned. Yeah, there's no shortage.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a combination of a number of factors. There's a massive amount of interest in iOS. There's a massive amount of developers, but it's also the community as well. People want to get together. It's a good opportunity for people across the world to meet their friends at a conference, hang out for a couple of days. So I think there's just this confluence of things happening in this community that makes it really interesting to do a lot of conferences around it.
Absolutely.
This was a topic that was covered in Charles Perry's and Joe Chaplinsky's recent podcast about, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing that there's so many conferences? And I think it's a really good thing. Like it's a show of support from the community for each other, and it gives everybody an option of where to go to get knowledge. Like you can go to Europe, you can just stay home, and eventually a conference will pop around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if they get popular enough, we'll just keep doing alt conferences. So I'm planning Alt 360 next. That's my plan.
I think he's infringing on your territory, John.
I'm all for it. That'd be sweet.
Judy's in. I know Judy's in. So.
Well, Judy's just a troublemaker any way you take it. She's going to
be too true.
Now, it's interesting to hear you all talk about this community. We just talked to Dan Berube and Mike Horton about their super meets that focus on video production and those kind of things. I'm lucky to get to dip my toe into several of these different communities, and it's the same thing. Whoever said it, you meet friends from all over the world. You make friends online, but then you meet them at the conferences and cement the friendships. And I guess that's just the nature of the way things are now. As someone who's just a little older, it still seems unusual to me or exciting. And I think now it's becoming the norm that, oh yeah, you're in Europe, you're in Asia, you're in Australia, whatever, we'll see you in San Francisco, in London, in Amsterdam, in Denver, wherever the gathering is. That's just what people do now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, certainly for me, going to WWDC, it's an opportunity for seeing people that live half an hour down the road from where I live, which seems a little bit crazy. But whenever you're busy, whenever all things are happening in your life, then you don't necessarily get a chance to hang out with these people. So, yeah.
Well, and developers, even though there's so many, there are only so many in any given geographic location, unless maybe you're in San Francisco or certain other developer intense areas. And so you go to be with your friends and the people that share your interests and your objectives.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It sounds like it's going to be a very fun week, maybe a little stressful for some of the people on the screen right now. but that's a good thing. And I applaud you all because the fact that you're doing it, you're creating the kind of resources we're talking about, and that's really great to see. You all deserve a round of applause, and I don't have anybody here to do it, so maybe we can get that going at AltWWDC.
Well, thanks
There
so
will
much.
definitely be a round of applause for them.
I would hope so. It's
I'll
your
sell for-
responsibility, John.
I'll sell for people buying us drinks. That's fine with me. More than appropriate.
Absolutely.
Anything in particular, Rob?
Ooh, big question there. One thing, we've got some surprises planned for Alt that Judy only found about last night whenever I phoned her excitedly about it. We're very excited about what's going to be happening. I'm not going to give any of them away right now, but we've got some surprises. If you turn up, and if you turn up early enough, then maybe you'll get some interesting things.
Sweet.
That's quite the tease, Rob.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't know why. I just love surprising people with things. I don't know why.
There's going to be a line like the Dub keynote wrapping around the SF State building that you're in now.
Well, I'm just worried about that in general. So, yeah.
Well, for the folks who have didn't see the first interview or whatever, what's the website? And is it, at this point, is there any reason to sign up, or is it just show up, or how should they approach this?
The website's just AltWWDC.com. And at this point, we're just advising people to just come in the morning and see if you can get in. And if not, come back later, see if you can get into the afternoon sessions.
Great. Well, it's great to see you all. Thanks so much. John, thanks for your first visit to MacVoices. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm looking forward to shaking hands with all three of you and seeing just how well this could be pulled off.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chuck.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you in San Francisco.
See you.
Cool. See you there.
Yeah.
Folks, AltWWDC is the talk of the Mac community, or will be very soon now, even with the surprises, which we want to speculate on at this point. I'm Chuck Joyner. As always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and for more Apple, Mac, and tech-related shows, including MacVoices, Mac Notables, the Mac Jury, and the MacVoices Briefing. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.